How you doing, folks? Aaron Kelly here, candidate for Mayo County Council in the Claremorris electoral area. I'm outside Mayo County. I didn't know the date. I should know this. I'm outside Mayo County Council. Where are we here? It's Wednesday, the 22nd of May. That's where we are. And I have made my first rookie mistake. Now, I'd like to say this mistake is entirely through inexperience, and it largely is. But there was a boob made on my part as well. Something I missed. I'll be embarrassingly honest now at the moment. When I made my first phone call through the Mayo County Council to say I wanted to run the elections, they sent me out an information pack. There was a load of stuff in it, and I kind of briefly flicked through it all. I'll give you an example. There were a whole bunch of stuff that they sent. A whole bunch of these leaflets, check the register, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be brutally honest, I just briefly flicked through that lot and then pulled out the form, the actual form that you need to fill in, and the rest of it just kind of lay there. I kind of went, okay, the only thing I actually need here is the form. That was a mistake. That was an oversight on my part. I should have had a closer look at that. So, the mistake I have made is basically the postal vote. I was completely unaware of the postal vote and its importance. And so this, now obviously this is geared to local elections, but this is obviously going to be relevant for anybody thinking of them running in the nationals later on this year or early next year, whenever they call that. So the postal vote is a big part of the puzzle, particularly for rural areas like I am with the Claremorris district, but generally speaking, all rural Ireland constituencies, the postal vote is an important part. Okay, let me get to the point here. So, whenever they sent me out a bunch. There was a whole bunch of these forms, and there was register of electorate, application for postal vote, and then there's other ones, registered vote, register to vote or update your details, and then there's another one in here, something about disability or something. What's that blue one there? Third party request to amend the register and all that. So there's a whole bunch of different forms they sent, and I kind of quickly flicked through them and just went, okay, then none of that's relevant to me. Now, the reason not relevant to me is because I'm a young man, youngish, and I've never had to do a postal vote. I've never thought about a postal vote. It's just never been on my radar. Now, as an independent, underage people, you're left to figure this out for yourself. I imagine if I was running as a Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael candidate or what have you, they would have appointed somebody to me that's familiar with the process, a veteran of the process, knows what they're doing, and would have been advising me on all this. But I don't have that. It's my first time. So look, and this is actually quite good, because this is a part of the process that I don't think look, just about everybody in Irish people, none of us are politicians, none of us want to be politicians, but so in documenting this whole process, I'm making mistakes, and if you like, I'm making the mistakes so you don't have to. So the bottom line, here's how it works. You get on the register, and then you're out and you're handing out leaflets and you're canvassing and all the rest of it, and you think you're doing great jobs. You're sticking up posters and doing public talking, speeches wherever you can get them, and you think you're all doing great, and then you miss the whole kind of postal vote thing. So how this works is, let's say you're going to, let's take a fictitious character. Let's take Patsy the Fine Gael guy. So Patsy the Fine Gael guy, he goes around the houses in his local area, and you can get a list of the electorate as well, which is very, very helpful. Which again, look, I'll try and keep this video kind of, geez, we're only in 4 minutes. Okay, you're Patsy the Fine Gael guy. You're going around, you're knocking on doors. You knock on Mary's door. You go, how you doing, Mary? Would you give us a vote on June 7th there? And she goes, I would, Patsy, but I can't get down to the, there's no way I'm going to be able to get down to the polling booth. you know, there's a lot of elderly people, and elderly, I'm talking, you know, 80 plus, they're not able to head down to the polling booth on Friday, June 7th and kind of cast a vote and that. They depend on the postal vote. So let's assume Mary just hasn't done any of this. Patsy at the door will go, "Ah, don't you worry, Mary, I'll make sure that you get your say. I'll make sure that you get your vote." And here I have a form here, and I produced one of these forms that the county council sent me in fairness, and if you want more than that, they'll send them to you. And you'd sit down with Mary, and you'd basically fill this out for her, this form, this registered electorate. You'd fill out this form for, or the postal vote one, sorry. Oh yeah, that is the postal vote one. So, application for postal vote, and you can see all that. And it's probably going to be reversed around or something. Anyway, so you'd sit down, Patsy would sit down with Mary, fill out this form now, and then Patsy would go, "Don't leave that with me now, Mary, don't you worry about it." And he'd head, and Mary would go, "Oh, Patsy, you're a saint, fair play to you, oh, looking after me," and all the rest of it. Off Patsy goes. Then you get to today, and you have all your forms filled out from Mary and all the other elderly people or people with disability or anybody that can't get to the polling booth. So what's going to happen now in about half an hour's time, when I go into County Council, is we're going to exchange, they are going to exchange the forms that were filled out by Mary and co for actual ballot papers. And I'm going to go in and video this now because this is an important video. This is the kind of almost the point of this documenting it. Certainly one of the huge points is so people can see what's going on. So what will happen is you take in your forms here now into the County Council on a specific date, specific day. I have the form here. This is this is actually the form that they handed me after I got on the ballot, which again I flicked through and went, yeah, it's all a bit money. You know, you can't spend more than 13 grand and blah blah blah. I thought, right, this is all relevant to me. We'll talk about that, but in a separate video, kind of donations and all, because there is information and I didn't know it, so we'll put it in the video. But anyway, we'll go in here now. We'll hand in our on a specific day the issuing of ballot papers to postal voters day, which is today at 2 o'clock. So you go in, basically you have all your forms from all your Marys, and you're going to exchange those for ballot papers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go down back to Mary after you've got the ballot papers here now. So each form will give you a ballot paper, and then you're going to go off, and I presume what's going to happen is Patsy will call to the door, go, "Mary, here is your ballot, you can get your vote." Patsy, you're saying. And Patsy will sit down, and I imagine put his arm around Mary, going, "You just fill that in there now, Mary. Yeah, yeah. Give me a number 1 there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my friend there, number 2. Yeah, and him number 3. Yeah. Now, Mary, you fill out the rest of it now any way you want. You know, it's your choice. You know." And I'm not entirely sure exactly the bit after this, which is why I'm going in here today now to just firm up the details on this. But what you do with that ballot then, yeah, I need to I'm going to firm that up, so I'll tack on a bit at the end here. Sorry this video is long. This is an important one. And so basically, but open the postal votes. So there's going to be that ballot. It's going to be in an envelope somewhere. How the actual details of that, I'm going to firm up later on. But then basically, there will be the postal vote envelopes, I presume, or whatever, and they're going to get opened at 8:30 in the morning on the day of the count, and you're allowed to have guys there. You're allowed to have guys there for this as well, by the way. So you need to appoint. So if there was something important going on today, I couldn't be here, and I said, "Geez," and I said, "Let's say I sent Colin up." I said, "Look, Colin, can you bring up the postal vote forms and get the ballots and that?" I would have to form them beforehand. I'm going to just give his name and address. This guy's going to come up and take care of this for me. So you can appoint agents to do this thing for you if you can't, but I'm doing it myself. So that's the loose description of the postal vote without the details that I will fill in when I go into the council here. Now, it's not a scam and there's nothing illegal, but think about this now. Think about this. Think about if you're an established political party like Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, and you've been running in elections for years. If I was doing this now, and then I met a Mary, and I sorted out the vote for her, the rest of it, she's going on my list now as postal voter people. So what's going to happen is over time you're going to build up a list of all the rural elderly postal voters in your area. You'll know who they are through years of experience and building up your lists and whatever. And you will be able to target that directly, straight away from the get-go. You know, this person, this, you know, figure out maybe one guy or two guys, and I just go around, get them all done. Get all their forms filled out for this particular election. But you will have a contact list of postal voters in your area. So obviously I don't have any of that. But I wonder, and here's where it is, here's the kind of key bit to the whole thing. I wonder how many are on each party's list. How many postal votes. Because those are guaranteed number one votes. So this is another piece of information that I'm going to try and get in here today. I'm going to try and figure out how many of these postal votes each of the candidates for Claremorris anyway. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. See what sort of information we can get. But I think that's important information, because if, say, Patsy the fictitious Fine Gael guy, there's no Fine Gael guy running in Claremorris as far as I'm aware, so I'm not talking, this is fictitious, this is hypothetical. I want to know how many of these forms each of them are handing in, because each of those forms is a guaranteed number one for them. And if you like, so the established political parties have got a massive head start here. Well, actually I don't know if it's a massive head start. We'll see if it's a massive head start, but it's definitely a head start. They've got something going. So yeah, the postal vote, completely off my radar. Had no idea about it. I knew it existed, but I didn't realize it was relevant for me, and that's stupid, and that's inexperience, and lack of just attention to detail at the start here, because there was so much going on. Look, I don't want to make excuses. It was my mistake. I've talked to one or two other people about this, both in Irish people and with outside Irish people. There was a couple of people that were grumpy about this, that they missed this. I actually got this information from a friendly inside that, how much? Basically I was told by a friendly that, wasn't quite the explicit words, but it was almost, they're not that worried about you because they know you're not on the ball at all with the postal vote. That was the rough gist of it. So we'll see now. So the key piece of information here now is how many of these are going to be issued here today, for either the Claremorris or the wider Mayo area. So that's the key piece of information I'm looking to get in here. So 13 minutes, that's just about typical for me there now. I did take footage this morning in there, because you said you have to appoint somebody by 2 p.m. I phoned yesterday to try and sort it. They said, yeah, don't worry about it, just send us an email. I sent an email, I didn't get anything back, so I had to come up here. So I was in recording footage in the council this morning just to make sure to get video proof that I, before the 2 p.m, before the deadline, was trying to put whatever was required in somebody's hand, inform them in writing. Aaron Kelly will be attending for the issuing of the ballot papers for the postal votes on that day. But anyway, look, I got that all on video. They all said it's cool, and yeah, no problem. So we have the evidence if we need it, but we shan't need it. So I probably won't put that in the end. If there's something good, we'll see what happens. And we'll shoot in a little bit. We'll probably do a little bit at the end there, just to fill in those blanks of after Mary gets the ballot and you put the arm around her and she does the 1, 2, blah blah blah. What happens from that moment on to opening it on the morning of the count? I'm not entirely sure. So I just need to fill that up. Sorry, what I was just saying there about the people in there and the Irish people. There was one or two people seemed quite grumpy, and they're going, "Well, they never told us." I was like, "Do you know, when I joined Irish people, they give me a name on the ballot, Irish people, and a logo on the ballot, Irish people." I thought, brilliant. I wasn't really expecting much else from them. Like I know the guys that are the signatories on the paper. Like they're just lads like me and you. So I don't know. I had no expectation of these lads hold my hand through the whole thing, and actually, they give me some posters and they give me some promo material and all the rest of it, which I figured was a bonus. But look, if you are going to run as an independent, you're running as an independent, so you can't have it both ways. You can't be an independent and then have somebody else sorting all the problems out for you. That would be my take on it now. So I consider this my error, not Irish people's error. And so there's probably Irish people running around that knew this and they're sitting watching this and they're going, "You big idiot, did you not know about the postal vote?" So there you go, 16 minutes. I'm going to stop there now. We'll get the footage inside. We'll try and firm out those details and we'll do a wee shoot at the end. Thanks. Okay, folks. So it's days later after the meeting in the Mayo County Council, and this video is already going to be long. So I'm just going to dispel the myth of this whole confusion around postal vote here. What I said in the original, my introduction video, there's definitely bits wrong in that, and I was tempted to reshoot that and take out the bits where I made mistakes and kind of my assumptions were incorrect. But look, let's keep this transparent. The whole point of this video log is to make mistakes and show people it's okay to make mistakes, and hopefully let me make a few of them for you. So basically what I was describing, the system that I was describing beforehand with the postal vote, it's correct up until a point where Patsy the fictitious Fine Gael guy is at the door, has Mary fill out the form. From that point on, my assumptions and understanding this were incorrect. Yes, the candidate at door would give the voter the form, and obviously that's going to influence, because you help them get the vote, that's going to influence it. But at that point then, what Mary would do is, I'm assuming that Patsy the fictitious Fine Gael guy would help her fill out the form. But then what would happen is Mary would actually post that form, and I was under the impression that the candidate was going to take the forms away and exchange them for ballots in the council on the meeting that I was at on Wednesday, and that's not the case at all. So Mary would post in the form for her application for a postal vote, and then what happens is Mayo County Council would process that form. They would make sure Mary is who she says she is, has a right to vote, all the rest of it. And then at that point, this meeting takes place that I was at on Wednesday. And at that point, what they do is they go through all the successful postal vote applications and really then basically put an envelope together with a ballot paper in it that they then send out to Mary. And again, so Mary will be influenced by whoever helped her sort that out. But nonetheless, the picture I painted of him with the arm around her going, "Oh, Mary, that's incorrect." But I'm leaving it in there for transparency. And on transparency, I did video the meeting I was in with the county council where they explained to me all this, and some other bits as well that I didn't know. But that meeting lasted 2.5 hours. I wanted 2 pieces of information. I wanted to make sure that my understanding of the process was correct. It was not, but I got that corrected before the thing even started. And then I wanted to know how many postal votes were going out, ideally for each party and stuff. But that's because of what I just explained. That's not correct. But I still want to know how many postal votes were going out for the Mayo, either the Claremorris constituency or local election area or Mayo as a whole. And I did get that information, but that means I had to sit through the whole thing, which is 2.5 hours long. And I was the only candidate there. Again, just kind of showing my my newness to all this. But anyway, look, I'm happy to make mistakes and make an idiot of myself if it helps other people, if it takes it helps take the fear away. So I have put on a video of that at the end. I've attached it on at the end. You can watch it if you want. I know the video would be very long, but I said I was going to make this transparent. I said if elected, I was going to bring transparency into the council and all the rest of it. So I want to make sure that I actually do that. And the video, so I'll just try. Some of these videos can be quite boring, but I'll put them on the end. I'll attach them on the end of the video, so at least people can see I am actually doing what I said I'd do. Now, the only thing was they said whenever they're reading out the electoral numbers and the names that go with them, that information can't be released to the general public because of potential electoral fraud or whatever. I said that was absolutely fine. It was 2.5 hours of reading out names and numbers anyway. So I didn't include that in the video for that reason. So I've just put in the kind of start bit, and then when they started going through the names, I just stopped. And my battery ran out by the time the end came, so I didn't actually record them saying the information of how many postal votes. But just here now, so I have the information here, and there's about 6 different categories of postal vote. There's disability, there's guards, diplomats, defence forces, prisoners, all that sort of carry on. But anyway, it was all said and done 2.5 hours later. It turned out there was actually only 372 postal votes going out for the entirety of Mayo. So across 6 electoral areas, I reckon that was kind of just about 65 or so per electoral area. And they seem to reckon that, the council reckon that we'll get about half of them back. So realistically, we're talking about 35-ish votes for each electoral area. So that's nowhere near the picture I had in my head. And I definitely misinterpreted the information that was coming to me. So I actually made 2 mistakes here. One, I completely missed the postal vote completely. That just wasn't on my radar. It was a mistake, an oversight by me. And then I made another mistake in misunderstanding what the realities of the whole thing. So I've made 2 mistakes, but they both seem to cancel each other out now. So we're all right again. But that's the situation on the postal votes. Don't want to say anything more about it. It's another 5 minutes on this video. It's going to be too long. I'll touch on now the stuff in the council. If you want to watch that, I got to kind of see them sealing the ballot boxes and all this kind of carry on. You might find it interesting, you might not. It's up to yourself. But anyway, that's the bottom line of the postal vote. Everything we said in the first video is kind of correct up until the point of where Mary fills out the form. I hopefully I've corrected that now. And yeah, so that's it. So that's the postal vote. That was that whole saga. It's probably a boring video now after all that, and it wasn't such a big deal. But I said it was important to put in terms for the log, for people that don't understand the postal vote, and for anybody that still is actually thinking, oh my god, I missed the postal vote, and I'm going to be hundreds of votes down before we even start. That's not the case at all. Hope that cleared that all up, folks, and I'll leave you with the stuff in the council now. Thanks so much. How you doing? Excellent. And yourself?
I'm Martina, working with the returning officer for the...
Martina, lovely to meet you. Aaron Kelly's my name.
Okay, and you've already notified us, Aaron, that you're...
I have.
Agent for yourself, yeah.
So I am completely new at this. This is my first election time now.
It's kind of a watching and listening exercise, and we'll explain what we're doing as we go.
Oh, absolutely. Perfect. And just one question. So I completely missed the whole postal vote thing, because I've never done a postal vote in my life, so it just wasn't on my radar at all. And in terms of the amount of ballots that are actually produced today and that, will that be publicly available information?
Sure.
Excellent.
The postal register will report we'll be going through every single one of them by the end here
But
today,
be
so.
prepared, there will be more stupid questions.
I think John is going to pop in, the returning officer, at some stage. We don't know if there's anyone else attending that we're aware of yet, but basically it's an opportunity to take a seat. Then we'll say a little bit at the beginning before we get started.
Okay.
And certainly if you have any questions for John as well, then feel free to ask them.
Absolutely perfect.
But, yep, take
That's
a seat.
perfect. Thanks a million, Martina.
No worries.
Do all the candidates normally attend?
No,
No.
not usually for the postal now.
Oh, okay.
I think there's an opportunity to, if you wanted just to see it.
That's me. No, that wasn't the expectation. No, it's purely information. I feel like a total idiot. Like somebody said to me about the postal vote, and I just kind of looked at them blankly and going, "The what now?" You know. And kind of half the point of this for me was the learning experience of it. You know, so it's my first identified large oversight. How's John?
How are you doing? I just checked up already. So we look ready to go. Okay, you're the only candidate to be here.
Okay, that's surprising.
That's fine. This is normal, by the way.
Okay.
Most of them don't turn up because there's not much to see.
I suppose once you've seen it once, maybe now it does lack the interest and the excitement of the whole thing.
What's going to happen is the staff are going to work through the list. Martine is the deputy returning officer; she's in charge of it.
Okay.
They're going to work through the list of postal voters. There's different categories of postal voters.
Okay.
And there's postal voters obviously for each of the 6 electoral areas that we have.
Okay.
And as they go through the list, they'll be putting the postal vote into the envelopes with the other documents that go out to the postal voter. If you happen to see the serial number on the ballot paper, you must not disclose it, because otherwise it could breach the secrecy of the ballot.
Understood.
We'll be doing our best to make sure no one gets to see it.
Understood.
But then when we're finished, then here we take them to the one post, and then they go out, and then they come back in between now and polling day, and we put them into ballot boxes.
Right. So
those boxes get opened at 8:30 on the morning of the count.
Understood. So just sorry, no, stupid questions. Will be the thing there. So I take one of these forms. One of the electorate fills them out.
Yeah.
And I bring that into here now today. A ballot paper is produced.
No.
Oh.
No, you're way behind.
Okay.
Those forms came in, and the closing date for those forms was the 11th of May.
Okay.
And assuming that they were successful, each one had to be assessed.
Right.
And assuming that they qualified, they were added to the postal voters list, which is what's been worked on up here.
Okay.
And what will happen now is each person whose postal vote has been accepted will receive an envelope from us with a ballot paper envelope, and a declaration or receipt that they have to sign and send back to us with the ballot paper.
Absolutely, perfectly explained, John. Thank you very much indeed.
So that's everything.
I'm 100% now. Thank you.
Well, in that case, if you're ready, we might as well proceed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's no need for me really to say anything further, except maybe on the ballot boxes. So John has we don't have a big group to explain to what we're doing. But I suppose ultimately our mission today is to get the complete postal vote list out to all of those people who are on those lists. So I suppose just to be clear, we have 7 different categories that we're working for, people that are entitled to a postal vote. We have the Defence Forces, diplomats serving abroad, the Gardaí, people with an illness or a disability, voters that are unable to vote in person due to the circumstances of their occupation, service or employment, and voters unable to vote due to the circumstances of their detention in prison, and finally anonymous voters. So there are 7 categories which we will work through, and as we're working through each category, I will let you know what category we're working on, and I'll let you know for which electorate area that is.
Excellent.
John explained to you about the ballot boxes. So as you can see, there's a ballot box for each of the 6 electoral areas in Mayo County, or in the county. They're all empty and they're open at the moment, but what we will do before the end of this process today, we could probably do it now and show that they're empty.
Yeah, if you want to open the meeting.
Yeah.
Just to show that they're there and then
Perfect.
what we will do when that viewing is done is we'll lock the box and seal the box.
can see each of these boxes should be empty at this point.
They all appears to be above board, lads.
Any other-
No. Yeah. Okay,
What's going
excellent.
to happen is now these 6 boxes will be sealed. Who has the seals?
We have the seals there, so we're ready to do that at whatever point, John.
We
can
can
do
do it
that
now.
We can do that now, yeah. So as you might remember that just on the lock.
But this is great. This is not what I was expecting at all. Like, you know.
Lock them first and then put on the seal. That's it. And the seal has to be broken to open it, but we won't be breaking the seal until we're opening them at 8:30 on the morning of the count.
Okay.
But the flap remains open so that when they arrive back in the post, we can put them into the box.
Sure. I'm sure this is very boring for you lads, but it's all new to me.
Martina, one second, just want to check this. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can see it in there, in the lock, after the lock, not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through there, yeah.
Basically, that has to be broken to open, as you see.
Perfect, yeah. I assume there's never been a case where it's arrived with a seal broken, has it? You ever had one of those?
Not where we're involved.
Not where you're involved. Okay, fair enough.
No, but I mean, I've never heard of it happening. But,
Okay.
But I mean, in theory,
In theory, yeah. What that whole box would have to be scrapped. Would it?
oh no, it wouldn't be strapped, definitely not. In theory, you'd still check them and you'd work your way through them. It would only really matter if somebody challenged the result of the election and it was an election petition to the courts.
Okay.
And then you'd have to argue whether it affected the result or not.
Okay.
Because bear in mind, apart from what's in the box, we also have a list of what we sent out. And we get receipts back with each one. So, like, I mean, even if the seal was broken, that itself wouldn't prove that there was anything wrong.
Understood.
Like
Okay.
the old seals, which were wax seals, could break accidentally.
Okay.
But these are a new type of seal that are quite reliable.
Oh, this is great to be able to get to see this whole bit.
Well, as I said, everyone gets the opportunity. Most of them don't avail of it because
I'd say, yeah. Look, it's my first time now. If this was 5 years from now, I might not even be here myself. But first time, we'll have a look.
I suppose to know for again that the opportunity to the postal voters, if you knew people that needed the postal vote and to get them in by the closing date. I actually need one seal there.
and the flaps have to remain open. So, yeah.
Is this actually open to the public? Anybody could come in and watch this if they wanted? No. Oh no.
Only candidates
right.
or agents.
Okay.
Candidates and our agents.
Yeah.
And candidates got the opportunity of appointing up to 2 agents.
Yeah.
Even though I think that'd be overkill, to be honest with you.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I mean, these papers have to go out to the voter. The voter has to vote, and in some cases he has to go to a guard station and have a witness and so on.
Right.
But they have to go through. It's set out on the documentation that they get.
Okay. So far, so good.
Okay, so now.
So the only final thing I want to say before we start literally calling out the individual names is just, I suppose, for everybody to be aware of our application and again the agency we have that. So it's not that there's anything to see, but at the same time, there's all that kind of thing that work will be done. It is important to be pointed out.
Sure.
So the first category we're going to start with is our defence forces.